think about something for a second. Alchemy, it's always good to know the words.
Alchem.
Well, al first means the. Okay? Al, el, or, all mean the same thing. They mean God, or the. That's why when you study theology, it's theology, or the study of God. God, which is the. So anytime you put the in front of something, you deify it. The devil made you do that. See what you just did? You made devil God. So we have the definitive article, the, and then after that we have Kim, which means black, which was the original, one of the original names for Egypt, Kemet. You know, the older name was Ta-Meri, where we get the name Mary. So alchemy, divine blackness. Okay? Carbon, we spoke about that. Soot, shit, good, right? So when we're dealing with the aspects of carbon, we said it's a base. So humans are what?
Carbon.
Carbon. Do they say carbon? They say something else when they say it, which changes the whole thing.
Melanin? The flesh?
He was on it. He missed a piece.
Yeah, I'm
Anyone?
Carbon based.
Thank you. Humans, man, is carbon based. Sort of how like mankind is kind of man. Okay, one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. Who said that?
Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong, right? First time he walked on the moon. And why did he say that? Because that was self-actualization. He said, man, we made it to the moon. But why was it a small step for man?
Well, he's just one
They've
person.
done it
Just
before.
him making a step.
The man's done it before.
Man has done it. Mankind never did it. Not even that day. That's what we found out later. So there's a difference between man and mankind. Just like there's a difference between being a carbon being, melanin, soot, shit, good, God, and being carbon based. Being a reflection of your higher self. We're not aiming to be reflections, we're aiming to be. Like in the Bible when God said, I am, not I am like. Okay? So, when we look at this Orisha energy, what we're looking at, Orisha, which are like the, and I don't have to go into too much, most people in the room said they understood. Were you here when we talked about Orisha, brother? If you were familiar with it, okay.
I'm familiar.
Oh, okay, good. So we're going to skip 101 and go right to 103. Because most people in the room were familiar. The Orisha are streams of cognition. Okay? Streams of cognition. As I'm speaking to you right now, I'm invoking one stream of my cognition. And that's the stream that I use when I need my tongue to be like a fiery sword. This is what we call the sword of God. Okay? Because as I'm speaking, I need it to sink in to your auric fields. It's not really about what I'm saying. I can sit up here and just talk about basket weaving. I'm not really trying to affect your conscious mind, because that's the smallest part of you. I'm trying to affect your subconscious. And I'm doing that through multiple ways. Okay? So there's a certain stream of cognition that we use for the moment, depending on what we're going through. If we're getting ready to gear up for war, there's another one we take on. If we're getting ready to write a poem, this is one we take on. If we're getting ready to take a test, there's another one we take on. And these all are classified by what we call Orisha. The word Orisha means selected consciousness. Ori is head, Sha means to be selected or seated. Seated on me. So I picked this hat today. Boom. I picked that hat today. But who's doing the picking? You are. I am, the real me. What we were just talking about. The soul. The soul. Where you get the word sulfur. The word sulfur comes from the word soul. Okay? Where you also get Ein Sof. If anyone here studies Kabbalah. That's that region above the crown. above Ketha that nobody really understands. That's why I said, no, we're not talking about really the higher self because we don't know what the heck it is. We can't conceptualize it. We can only conceptualize reflections of the higher self. You see things certain times and you like, I know that's God. Reflected, yeah, you know, but you can't really take on exactly what God would be. You wouldn't, your body can't take it. I'll give you a quick story. I know you heard some because you had another workshop. And I don't normally tell stories during workshops because it's formulaic. You know, I get up, I tell you a story about something funny that happened to me in college. And I tell you a couple of jokes and I say something real deep. And I pull it back to another story where I made a fool out of myself or something. I don't really do the formulas thing. I don't think it's that cool. But this story is something that was, you know, that should be included. I came back from about 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, something like that. And while I was over there, long story short, there was a situation, the people who I was there, I was in the area considered the bush, okay, off the coastline. But even the local people, you know, who lived, the fishermen, they call that area back where I was the bush, okay. So I'm out there, and there was a person I was there with who I'm friends with who has he's a teacher in school. And long story short, there was a little boy there by the name of Richard who I had met before, and I love Richard. Richard is like, he's the coolest. When I first met him, he comes up to me, and what you do not do as a child, and he said, "What's your name?" You don't talk to adults like that. You know, you stand there, like he could come and hold my hand or take my bag from me. That's like an introduction, but none of that, like, what's your name? And he was standing there like this. And he's in the bush now. So I said, well, which means, what's your name? But he said it in English to me. And he said, Richard. Right? Just like that. Just like how I just said it. This is an 11-year-old boy in the bush, standing there with no shoes on. And I said, oh, so you got a lot of money. And I said it just like that. Now, when you're over in the bush, you have to talk slow. They don't really catch everything he's saying. They speak English, but it's not quick. And he said, he laughed, and he went like, no, I don't have no money. So I'm saying, how the heck is this boy understanding me? Right? So, this is my first introduction to Richard. So, from then on, that was my best friend. So I said, he's bad, he's mischievous. I just like the mischievous children. So, I get not a call, I get a knock on the door. We have a problem at the school. We need you to help with it, okay? So I get up to the school. Long story short, there was a girl there who was having a seizure, okay? And what happened was, she said when she was walking to school, Richard came on the path. It's like a red road you have to walk, and Richard revealed himself to her, okay? Now, of course, we're here in America. We have an extremely perverse sexual imperative. So when you think of revealed, it's okay, he pulled his yam out, you know. But it's all kind of words for it, you know. He didn't do that. So I said he revealed himself to you. She had already, what happened, she had cuts and bruises all over her face. She was on the ground, everything going on for riding back and forth. And all the teachers, about 7 teachers, were on her, holding her, praying for her, okay? And they were like this for a half an hour praying over this girl, okay? And she came into the school, like she came into the school on her hands and knees, screaming, okay? So from the moment he revealed himself to her on the trail, she started having these convulsions and going crazy, basically, okay? So basically, this is what happened. Richard astral projected onto the trail while she was walking to school, because she had been picking on him for a couple weeks prior, right? And she would always taunt him, and every time he would go to grab her and beat her up, she would run to the teacher. So Richard said, okay, if I kill the teacher, I can get to her. Okay? Now I want to give you a little background before I go into this. No matter where you teach, whether you teach in the main city or one of the main cities, or you teach out in the bush where the teachers have to ride motorcycles to work, this provides a motorcycle for you, because you can't even drive a car up there. So I was on the bike riding back and forth through there. especially during the rainy season. You can't even ride a bike. But the teachers, no matter where you teach, the standard fee while you're still going through school is like how we have teaching fellowships here. It's about $300 US, about $450, something like that, per month. Now you're probably saying, well, yeah, they're in the bush. Like, that's right. No, that's no money there too. Okay? So these are people. Matter of fact, one of my friends is a teacher there. I came and he had all these cuts on his legs. I know from he had visited here. I'm like, what happened to your leg? It was all these burn marks. He said, man, I caught myself on fire. I said, how? He said, distilling liquor. So he was he's a teacher now. This is a math teacher. He's trying to moonshine, try to get extra money. And the distillery blew itself up. So these people don't make a lot of money. So imagine you bringing home $300 a month, and you got a kid trying to kill you because you're protecting another one from him. So what happens is, so she said he revealed himself to me, and then that's all I remember. And she just went into convulsions. She came to the school and she was just screaming, throwing up, frothing, so forth and so on. I went and they wanted me to go get Richard. Okay, so I went because they know I'm a priest, but I part of it I know was you go.
Get rich.
Yeah, maybe you'll take him back to America or something, or sponsor him. We won't have to deal with this anymore. So I go to Richard's stepfather's house, that's where he lives. And he's out there with the chickens. And I said, what you do, man? I said, come in. And he didn't want to come to me. Because over there it's a little different. You don't have child protective services. You do old school mom. So